This is a product that every guitar player should have. Tube amp user, digital modeling user. And if you're gigging or recording guitar, this is a no-brainer. I'm having a great time with this. It's awesome. What's up, everybody? This is Steve Sterlacci. Today we are looking at, oh no, I can't say the word. I won't say it. I won't call this product a GC, since many people, particularly the YouTube viewers and community, hate that term. But this is a new product from Two Notes. Now, I've been using Two Notes gear for a long time. The Captor X is probably one of my favorite pieces of gear. I love the blend of analog and digital. But they just came out with this new Reload 2. There's a ton of demos out there. I'm kind of in the second wave of influencers, or whatever you want to call us, content creators, making videos for this. So there are already plenty of demos that showcase everything it does, deep dive specs and all that. I wanted to focus my video on cool ways to use it for the digital amp modeling crowd as well as the tube amp crowd, because this is such a unique device that it covers every guitar player's wants and needs. I think it's really unique in that way that there's really nothing else that does this. First and foremost, it's a fully analog device. There's nothing digital about this. Two Notes didn't even put their awesome cab tech in this, so there's nothing digital. This is a purely analog device. And I'm going to show you all different ways to get creative, both with your tube amps and your modelers. I can't think of another product on the market that caters to every brand of guitar player. For those that are on silent stages, this can dummy load or reactive load your tube amp down to a line level, and you can send it direct into another software to put cabinet impulse responses, whatever your boat is there. You can also take your modeler, whatever your modeler choice may be, into this, and then you can power a real cab on stage while simultaneously sending a pristine signal to front of house without having to mic up a cab. Or you can do combinations of all of the above, which for this setup that I have here, if you look to my left here, I've got, 6 tube amps set up over here that I rarely get to use other than, the load box thing. But the way the Reload works is that it allows me to do basically anything I want. For those of you that don't know, on this channel, I do everything digital amp modeling and guitar gear all over here. It's kind of my thing. If it is your thing, consider subscribing, because according to YouTube, a lot of my viewers or a lot of my views don't come from subscribers. So if you are, awesome. If you're not, just double check that you are. So this setup that I've just concocted to have fun with here, I'm recording a few different ways. I've got my guitar plugged into my HX Stomp, and I've got the Reload in the effects loop with the amp. So if you look at my signal chain in HX Edit here, this is basically my amp. So I'm getting my real amp there while going to the cabinet here. So my output is still going to the cabinet. This is awesome because I can basically act like this is a pedal board and I can play for real. And this is kind of traditional, old school, adding an effects loop to an amp that doesn't have one. So right now I'm plugged into my 63 Bassman. There's no effects loop on that, and it's really loud for a room of this size. But what the Reload's allowing me to do is put effects both in front and behind it. So on my stage sound, I have everything going through. And I can turn on all the effects, and I can run this like a traditional pedal board. I can put the delays after the amp. Essentially, you could think of this as you have a preamp pedal board and an effects loop pedal board. The effects loop on this is really great. And the main takeaway here is that what this is doing, this is not an attenuator. It's a reload. It's a reactive load. So essentially what's happening here, I got a string on my shirt. Essentially what's happening here is the load box is loading the tube amp signal down safely to a line level. And then it's essentially reamping the speaker in the exact same way. And this is a Celestion approved reaction response here. it's going to power your cabinet the exact same way a real amp would. So you're not going to have any weird feel or any weird sponginess or any sacrifice in your sound. It's basically making your head, your tube amp, pristine, and then it's just repower amping your speaker in the way the amp would. So you're getting the best of all worlds in this scenario. And I've got my basement on 3.5, 4, where it's just that like edge of breakup ish. So if I dig in, I get dirt. And I've got a killer mic'd up sound. And what I'm particularly excited about also, in my studio here, I have this KHE amp switcher, which is one of my favorite pieces of gear, where I can now just seamlessly switch to my Sir SL67 right above it. And now the Sir does have an effects loop in it, as well as some of the other amps I have here, but the same effects loop is now all being shared by the Reload. By putting these effects in the Reload's effects loop, all of the amps that I have here all get to benefit from the effects loop. So I can just keep switching amps, whatever the part is, and not have to switch out my pedal board. Doesn't that amp just sound so good? And then just for fun, I can also switch to my matchless C30, which is down here. And now, I mean, the matchless has a master volume, but I would much rather rely on something like this. The way that this is handling it is much more appropriate than an amp's master volume. Some amps have better master volumes than others. This, I don't have to have any guesswork. I can send full power to the Reload, and it's handling all of these without breaking a sweat. And aside from, you know, being able to handle effects, it has a couple of things on it. It's got a depth, a presence, and it's got a mojo knob. So the mojo knob is just a little bit of a spice, I guess. So that's with the mojo on. So just a little bit of warmth, I guess, a little bit of maybe a nice EQ. And then let's keep that off. And then we have a presence and depth control. That's with the depth up. So yeah, I guess you get that rumble. And now the presence all the way off. Let's go to the Sir with that. Yeah, both are nice, usable, nice little touches. That presence was vicious, huh? I'm curious how that sounds in post because obviously not through headphones. I'm listening through the cabinet in the room. I'm mic'd with my Lewitt 440 DM, which is like basically a better 57 that sounds really great. All right, so if you're not somebody that has a bunch of tube amps, but you also want a great setup for your modeler, and this is true for any of the modelers. So in this setup, I've got the Placator Dirty, which is one of my favorite HX amps, and also a high gain head that I don't have. So I can just get it through here, where the effects send is going to the Reload in order for it to be sent to the speaker. So that send, just the way that I have it routed, the way that I can make this work in both applications, that send is going to the Reload and then into the speaker. So everything that you see here is going to be heard through the speaker. This is going to be great for an amp on stage. And guess what? You can also take your mains and go direct to front of house with that. You can take this main left and right and go to front of house while simultaneously having your send go to the cabinet on stage with whatever HX, Fractal, Quad Cortex, whatever model Tone Master Pro that you want. And then here, I've got the HX amp model going into the cab. It sounds pretty fucking good. It's pretty sick. This setup is awesome. So now, again, I can have my effects in this particular scenario. Let's go with this analog and mod. And we can even just, for funsies, up the reverb here. And I mean, you have an unlimited rig, literally Emperor Palpatine, unlimited power as to what you can do with this. The possibilities are endless. You can use this whether you're a tube amp snob or you're into the digital modeling world. The applications are endless. This is just the cool way that I figured out how I would like to use it. I can bring this to a gig, set this up, have a great stage sound, and also simultaneously send my my great signal to front of house, my pristine captured signal. And that, you can take a look at their software, which I've also been simultaneously recording. They ship this with the Genome software, which is basically like a whole mini recording studio here. I don't have any effects on, but I just have this Creamback loaded up. And this is the raw XLR coming out of the reload. So this is just the amp loaded down and nothing, no speaker simulation applied to it or no real speaker. That XLR is going into my interface, which in your case could be your modeler or your interface or whatever modeler of choice you have. Put on your cabinet simulation. I just wanted to show off, obviously, because they include a bunch of impulses and a bunch of their Dyne IR technology is really awesome. I really recommend you dive into the Dyne IRs and mess around with this. So you can do all the cool stuff. I'm actually going to turn this off. So now I turned the speaker off in the room, but I'm still able to play. And with this, you can move your mics around and you can do basically all of the cool things that you can do in a professional studio. And you can just keep changing cabinets until you're happy. Like, so right now, this is the real tube amps going into the fake cabinets. So real tube amp being loaded down, all analog. That signal is being sent to my DIW, and I'm able to apply speaker simulation after the fact. It's really crazy. I mean, again, there's just so many different ways that you can use this, and it's so cool. I'm having a great time with this. It's awesome. There's nothing that this can't do. This is a product that every guitar player should have, whether you're, again, tube amp user, digital modeling user, anywhere in between. If you're gigging or recording guitar, this is a no-brainer. I'm in love with this thing. It's going to be a mainstay in my studio. One other thing cool, it has these wooden brackets on it that actually lift it up so that if you have an amp like this, sir, that has ventilation on top, you actually have ventilation, which is awesome. This is my main application, and I hope you guys dug this video. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.